life pivots on the moments we grab hold of and the ones we let go. My expectations of how much a job can fulfill a person were an unfair burden placed on even the most prestigious of musical jobs. So while I was able to work on top-tier projects, it required more of my life than I was willing to give. So I quit my dream job, proposed to my now wife, and we set off. Toward what? We don't know. That's part of it. But we're loving every moment of the journey as we solve for life. Look what is Ellen.
Hey.
It's our friends. Hey, friends.
We wanted to bring our friends with us on this journey, so we started documenting our travels and have ever since. We had no idea that this first trip in January of 2018 would keep us traveling for the rest of the year. I like this whole flying free thing.
Hello, friend.
Hi. But this is where this year's adventure began. Not with a lot of money or a grand plan, but just a handful of credit card points and a backpack full of clothes.
Going from Orlando to Denver to see my sister.
All right, we're leaving Denver for the first time. Gonna explore the mountains. This is awkward, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. So we weren't really vloggers yet, and we have our fair share of awkward moments. Sit back and enjoy them all. So this is Lost Gulch, and we're gonna go over here and see the viewpoints, and then we're gonna explore more and find better viewpoints.
After being cooped up in a dark studio for several years, escaping to beautiful nature like this was the first step into a larger world. It was such a release, such a contrast from the life I was living. And it was a reminder about the rest of the world that's out there. It's not that I didn't enjoy the work I was doing, but either I forgot or have never experienced enough of the world around me to truly speak or think about the world with any certainty, let alone any creativity.
Now you can get a real panoramic.
So even though we were new to exploring the world and trying to find the best way to do it, we clumsily discovered, not really knowing what we were looking for, but the search for it is where we found joy. And isn't that kind of what life's all about anyways? We don't really figure it out. We never really solve for life. But it is the search that fulfills. It's our first adventure as an engaged couple.
How I climb rocks. This looks like Lion King when Scar is taken over and everyone is sad.
This is Marie's first parallel park, and she nailed it in the first try. Here we are in downtown Boulder. What's the street called?
Pearl Street. I like how this section's just out of reach. Hashtag feminism.
Hey, so we just bought some books from the local bookstore. Support a local business. There's this guy, he was...
We met Tom,
Tom is his name?
the owner. Yeah.
He's been doing it for 30 years. And
30 years in just a few months.
yeah. We bought On the Road
Yeah.
by Jack Kerouac.
It's a great travel book Marie needs to read.
It's the 60th anniversary was last year.
Yeah.
And I got famous or best loved American poetry. Not about America, but just that people have liked. Let me explain.
So if you're ever in Boulder, beat books.
On Pearl Street.
It's snowing, Ellen.
It's so pretty.
Can you see the snow? And in our solving and our adventuring, it doesn't need to be grand or showy, but finding joy in the people around you.
Here's to good family.
in the stories we share, and in the small pleasures you can find.
Wow, that looks awesome.
That is the adventure and the solving for life.